I've been coming to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries since the year 2014. I was 15 years of age by then. In counting, I think that's 11 years now of coming to 𝐒𝐓𝐎𝐑𝐈𝐄𝐒 Ministries.
The first time I came to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries was on Friday, 13th January 2017.
So it all began in 2013. I think my father was sick by that time. One of her colleagues advised her that no, you can come to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministry. So that's when I started to come to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries.
I started coming to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministry in 2014, which makes it about 11 years now.
I first started coming to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries in the 2013-2014 crossover service at the National Stadium.
So I would say I lacked direction, I lacked purpose in life, I lacked focus. There were many things happening which distracted me. So obviously, a distracted person cannot focus on their academics. So I was very distracted, so hence the performance, my academic performance generally went down.
I was failing at school, I wasn't concentrating, I was, a class clown, I was the one who cracked jokes in class.
When I first came to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries, I was from the world. I came here because I was not well.
By the time when I came here, I was looking for change. I wanted a change in my life. I was an alcoholic. I was a drug addict, and professionally, I was stagnant at work.
When I came to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries, as I said, I was 15 years of age. I was in junior secondary school. I was a teenager. I was indulging in social media. I was surrounding myself with bad friends. I was struggling academically. My attention was not fully into my academics because of all the things that could affect it. The bad friends, the social media, the not listening to your parents, and just giving your attention to things that do not edify your academics or your life at all.
I went to senior school where I started now being a class clown again. I started, deteriorating in my academics, of which I ended up not doing well in my Form 5.
So upon coming to the church, one of the good days, I received a prophecy from the man of God. I was very, very, very much surprised. It caught me unaware. So he pointed out to me, said, boy or girl, what can you say about your academics? This was the prophet talking to me. So I was a bit puzzled. The prophet is asking me about my academics. How does he know that I'm not performing well? So that's when we see the sudden change in my academics. This is where the sudden change comes about. The drastic change into excellence now. The diving into excellence now. After the prayer of the man of God, the first change I noticed was 100% in my maths paper one. I was like, this is what I want. I came to give a testimony of the sudden change in my academic. So I want to believe it as by that time the Spirit of God moved the man of God to have this initiative, the initiative PPS, that is Prophet, Parent, Student. What a wonderful initiative, people of God. Blessed initiative.
The PPS is an initiative of the Prophet of God, which he started in 2014, where he was seeing the national crisis of results dropping in the country. So he started the initiative of PPS, where he wanted the parents to partner with him and the students to promote excellence in the lives of the learners.
I was privileged to be part of the first cohort, or the group that joined the PPS initiative. So this initiative was a joint venture between the prophet, being the spiritual mentor then, and the student as well as the parent coming together to fortify academics.
As the man of God is our father, I went to him and I told him, and he told me to take my life serious and be serious. And he advised me to rewrite my Form 5 where I did very well.
The time when I came here in 2017, I was an accounting technician. I was pursuing a professional qualification, but I was doing very badly in my academics. I was always failing. I would invest money, sit for exams, and I'd come back having failed my exams. But ever since I came here and I got to learn of, this desire and the love of men of God, seeing children progress academically through the messages of the PPS messages, where he says, sacrifice your presence for the sake of your future. So at that point myself, I was like, I want to get this qualification. I want to be a professional. I no longer want to be a technician anymore.
As usual, the prophet gave us a series of messages. So this series of messages, I wouldn't depict saying this one is better than this one, because it's a series of messages. Because the prophet may give you a head in a time of winter, whereas knowing that you will need that head in your time of summer. So that is to say, he may preach a message, seemingly maybe you might not need it, but there will come a point where you read that you will need that message in your life.
One of the first messages that the man of God taught us was the power of choice, which essentially meant that we had the power to choose where we wanted to be, where we wanted to go, and that the time for us to make that choice was now. And it would be a seed into the future that we envision for ourselves. He gave us simple instructions, or what seemed like simple instructions then. He said, after you come back from school, you help out with the chores. That equally means honoring your mother and father when you assist them with your chores. From there, you bath, and then you sleep at 8. And then you're going to wake up at 11 p.m. and then you're going to read until 2 a.m.
The message that really struck me by then, the PPS message, was to sacrifice our present for the sake of our future. That is to sacrifice Facebook, social media, to sacrifice going out with friends in order for us to be who we are now.
So upon me having the grace and being consistently coming here by the grace of God, all those things that I came, that load, that baggage that I came with, Christ took it from me. As I sit here, I'm no longer an alcoholic. I'm no longer a drug addict. I've been delivered.
The man of God also encouraged us to put God first in everything that we did. And that was through coming to church every Sunday. Where there's an opportunity for you to serve in the church, make sure that you avail yourself. You give your youth totally and entirely to God. And just those simple instructions alone, as well as the messages and the teachings of the man of God, they bore results. I came here as a 15-year-old girl who was going to junior secondary school, but now I can confidently tell you that I've been able to lead in any situation that I've been given, or in any level of life that I've been. Right then, I've also been privileged to attend a parliamentary debate in Zambia when I was 15 years of age. I was also privileged to be sponsored to go and study mechanical engineering in the Russian Federation. So from the 15-year-old that came to 𝐒𝐓𝐎 Ministries in 2015, I am now a mechanical engineer by qualification and training to be a maintenance engineer.
PPS is the one that made me who I am today. I came here as a young person. I did not know, I was not purpose-driven. I was just, doing anything that I could do. And now I've completed my master's in health information and leadership, and now I work as a health informatics and a quality assurance at work, which is a very big role for me as a young lady.
The other thing is that these teachings that the man of God gives us during PPS, even us, the elders, we use them. When I came here, I was a diploma holder. So as the teachings were going on, I was able to sponsor myself. I ignited my dream. I happened to be a bachelor's degree holder, bachelor management now in degree.
By the grace of God, I got to complete my professional qualifications. As we speak now, I'm actually at the pinnacle of the professional qualification. I am a fellow chartered certified accountant through ACCA.
I'm an engineer. For example, the other ones, if I remember well, the other one graduated as an industrial engineer. The other one, I can't quite remember what they did, but they went to the US. Still the product of PPS. The other one, I think, is an electrical engineer. We studied together at BUS. The other one graduated as a chemical engineer. Last time I heard, I think he was in a mine working there. Still product of PPS.
But I think one of the most pivotal moments of being in the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries was back then when I was posted to go for boarding school for my senior school. And I didn't want to go there. So I went to the man of God and I told him, I don't want to go to boarding school. I want to go to a day school so that I can continue coming to the church. And he listened like a father. He invested in my education. And I think that on its own was an encouragement to say the person that you look up to, the person who has assumed a position of being a spiritual mentor as well as a father in your life, now sees your education important enough to be invested in. So he took care of all my school fees, all my school utilities, my transport fees to go to school. And it was an encouragement and it was a blessing. And that is one of the moments that has changed the trajectory of my life.
As a school head, I feel that if it was introduced when I was still schooling, I could have done much better. I have seen people, students in the church going abroad. Those who did not do well in their journey, I have seen them resurrecting.
I did my Form 4, Form 5. By the grace of God, I managed to scoop 41 points, and I advanced to tertiary level to pursue my degree in computer and telecommunication engineering.
The difference from this initiative and the children outside there is because outside there, we are just teaching without partnering with God. But this one, because it is the initiative of God, there is excellence.
One thing that I must state, people of God, that before I went to BUST, the man of God called us, the group of those who excelled. He called us again. He said, my children, you are now going to meet the devil head on, one-on-one. So you need to be prepared. So he equipped us with the necessary things. I would say one of them was the living water. Number 2, the words. My people, the word sustained me at my tertiary level. I give glory unto God, if not by the grace upon the prophet of God, if not the grace upon this place, I wouldn't have made it. Because the challenges now, I now got to see what the prophet was talking about. I now got to see now, to face the devil head on now. So in such times, indeed, we have a watchman in this house. In such times, the man of God will come into my dreams. He will advise me. He would rebuke me. Don't do that. Do this. So that it built faith in me. So the prophet, despite the distance, coming to me in my dreams. So people of God, that the love that I would say I received from God, that on its own, it gave me hope to continue to push on. Till finally, I managed to graduate, I think, in 2021, September.
As a teacher, you know that the students, when you teach them their character, they come with this wayward character. any kind of character. They don't want to listen, they don't study, they don't do this. But because we were learning from the men of God about character every time, you take what has been taught in church, you teach them how to pray, you teach them how to change their character, you tell them to up their spirit like we have been taught, you tell them to activate their dreams like we have been taught. They start now enjoying your teachings, they transform, they do better in their classes.
One of the teachings of the man of God for PPS was sacrifice your present for the sake of your future. It's a message that you would think is only applicable for academics or for students, to say, sacrifice your now. Let go of all the friends, let go of social media, let go of dating, so that you can be able to sow seeds into your future. But I have seen such teachings become very profitable in my now young adult life, where issues of finances, you need to sacrifice some of your expenditures now in order for you to invest and save for the future. As the Bible and the men of God would say within that message, is that there is going to come a time where you cannot dress yourself, where you cannot take yourself to where you want to go, but someone else will be doing that. So positioning yourself by sacrificing your future, by sacrificing your present now for the sake of your future, is something that I find very applicable in my young adult life now. And I work in a very demanding industry as well, where you cannot make it if you are not disciplined. And just the messages of the men of God that speak to character, as well as the discipline that was instilled in us through that PPS initiative. It's now simpler in life for me to be able to continue to be disciplined now as I get older.
The preachings of the man of God, he preaches character, he preaches discipline, and he preaches humility. Those are the core values that impact my life and that I use in my day-to-day life. The character-wise, at work, and every decision that I make, it is anchored in the wisdom of God's word and in the preachings of the men of God.
The teachings of having character and being disciplined, and also being humble. And so from the church and my personal life and professionally, I approach my work now not as a thing of ambition, but it's more onto service. I see it as me serving, and as I do my service and as I walk, whether it's my professional or at home with my wife, the thing that holds me is that whatever that I do, I should be doing it for the glory of God.
So what has kept me coming to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries for all these years is, I'd say, the teachings of the man of God. I came here in 2015, and the man of God then was teaching about faith and how faith is a necessary condition for receiving from God, and how faith is discipline. And throughout these years, as the church continues to grow, his teachings have also grown with the church. We moved from a point of speaking about faith to now speaking about how faith allows you to be able to receive from God. Also, what kept me coming is the miracles that we see happening each and every Sunday in the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries that show us that indeed there is nothing that is impossible for God.
This place is definitely a place where God is, because from the first day I stepped here, God captured me and He kept me for Himself. So, it has since become like a very truly fertile ground for me to grow. And I got to realize and appreciate that I've really grown so much spiritually and personally as well, so those are some of the things that really kept me here.
What are you waiting for? Come to the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries. It is a home. It is a place where lives are transformed, lives are changed. Those who came here without hope, they leave here with hope. We see the Bible come into reality. But I would invite young people, old people, professionals, everyone. There is something for everyone in the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries.
Please step in, come inside. Do not visit, but stay. Because Jesus says that we should choose to be that branch that remains in Him, the true vine. And through Him, He will prune us. So if the person came with a character like mine, was an alcoholic, was a drug addict, that's not a character of God. God will prune that person, will remove everything and all things within him that is ungodly, that is displeasing to Him. God will take it away. And every burden, and every weight, and frustration, and everything that is somewhat negative that they come bring into the church, God will take that away from him. And after God has pruned the person, the Bible says, then will bear much fruit. So God will prune you. When you come here, you don't visit, you stay. Allow God to process you, and thereafter you will bear much fruit. By the grace of God, I'm bearing fruits, and I'm grateful for that.
Through my life, I was a young girl who came here who didn't have purpose, who was just living life because it's life, and a young lady who came here single, and now I'm married. So my advice to the young people is that every word that comes out of the man of God, take it to heart, leave it, and write it down in the journal of your heart and live through that word, because it will benefit your life now until.
You are defined by your obedience. You are also defined by your disobedience. So just like the man of God taught us, PPS, the power of choice is in your hand. The prophet taught us that we must choose not to eat, we must not defile ourselves with the royal foods. So we must choose the way of discipline, the way of obedience, being obedient, being faithful to the teachings of the prophet of God.
I would like to wish the Gospel of God's Grace Ministries happy 14 years. 14 years of strength to strength, of grace to grace, of changing lives, of bringing hope to the hopeless.
14 years of unlocking destinies.
Celebrating 14 years of building a brighter Botswana.
Happy 14 years anniversary 3G Ministries. Celebrating 14 years
of building lives on a solid rock.
Thank you,
Thank
Jesus.
you, Jesus.